The charge is that in proposing a $1.48 billion city budget recently, that for the first time since you took office, would result in a small tax cut for the average homeowner, that you are a Johnny-come-lately on holding the line on taxes. Are you?
No, I was fortunate because this is the flip side of the record album of the problem we had last year with the payment for the pension system. Again, let's go back to that story. I have my budget director come in and tell me, you have to make a payment, $49 million payment, because the stock market has gone down. I said, okay, we're going to do that. This year was a much different conversation. It was a much more pleasant conversation this year because they came in this year and they said, you don't have to make any payment this year because the stock market has rebounded. So my initial reaction is, I've got $49 million that I didn't have to spend last year, and I thought this is going to be good. Well, what happened though, just to sort of so you have a full understanding of this, our health care costs rose 21%, $25 million. So boom, there goes $25 million of the $49 million. In addition to that, one of the things we did last year is we took $7 million out of a reserve system, a reserve that we had. So not only did we replenish that, but we put in an additional $17.35 million because 2 years from now, in 2014, we're going to have to make a payment probably in the neighborhood of $65 billion. And I'm not legally required to make that payment, but I thought this is something that, being responsible, we could do. So if I were posing for the holy pictures, it would have been far easier for me to not just have a flat tax levy, but to have a tax levy $17 million less than what it was last year. But then I would have known that whoever's mayor in 2014 is not going to have someone who was responsible in 2010 who made that payment. So to me, it's a sign of what happens when you pay your bills on time. But I want to bring this up because I want to talk about the flip side of this. The property tax levy increases that have occurred under my watch have been in the neighborhood of $39 to $40 million. I will take responsibility for those. The tax levy increases that have occurred under Scott Walker's watch are in the $39 to $42 million range. He has not taken responsibility for those.
Is there a reason for that? He's got a very different kind of board than you do.
No, because let's talk about executive budgets. The executive budget is the document that is drawn up by the executive branch by definition. I draw it up with my budget office. He draws his up with his equivalent agency. We can't blame anybody for this. We can't blame the county board. We can't blame the city council. And if you look at the tax levy under his first budget in 2002, 2003, I don't remember the exact year, and compare it to his executive budget for 2011, the tax levy increase is in the neighborhood of $40 to $42 million. It's nobody on the county board has forced his hand. Nobody, just as nobody on the city council has forced my hand. That's why I say I take responsibility for it. He says, well, it's the county board, and what I do is each year I don't raise it above what they did it, and we have budgets. That's all irrelevant here. And again, when I look at this, and he says, well, I've never raised the taxes. I've never raised the taxes. I invite any one of you to look at his executive budget from 2003 and his executive budget from 2011 and have you tell me he has not proposed an increase of the tax levy in the neighborhood of $40 million. I hate to say it, but it reminds me of that old kids play or the kids story of the emperor has no clothes.